Now we're going to do basically the same effect, but now we do it with 2 ropes. And we can do it with a volunteer from the audience. You can pick somebody from the audience, or you can have somebody pre-arranged ahead of time. It doesn't matter if you do that, which way you do it. If you pick somebody from the audience, a couple things to remember. First of all, they must be wearing a short sleeve shirt. So pick somebody with a short sleeve shirt, preferably with a collar, something like this, and a loose fitting shirt. Has to be a guy. Macardi will be putting his hands inside the shirt, so please pick a guy, not a girl, to do this trick. You also want somebody who's approximately about this size. You don't want somebody tall or short, because Angel or Macardi are going to have to put their hands behind their neck during portions of this trick. And so you don't want it to look awkward up here, so you don't want to get somebody who's 6'6" to help you do this.
Unless Angel's 6'4".
Unless Angel is 6'4". Thank you, Diane. Diane, come on up here. This is my assistant, Diane, and this is Dylan, and we're going to show you how to do the rope guillotine trick. It is not called the rope guillotine trick in reality, so if you go out on the internet and try to find it, you won't find anything on it. It's actually a variation of a 1,000-year-old trick called Grandma's necklace, and it works off an old principle. What happens is you take 2 ropes that are approximately the same length. Ours happen to be around 12 feet long right here. They're a little bit longer than I like, probably around 10 feet, but 12 feet will work. The other thing to remember whenever you're using ropes is that the ends will fray. You can see that I just cut this end off. This end has been around for a while. Since the ends are going to be deceiving here in just a moment, and I'll explain what that means, you definitely want to cut off the ends of your rope before every performance. Also, treat your rope as a prop, not as a rope that's in your garage. This rope has got a wonderful gray color to it. Don't throw it on the ground and leave it on the ground. Treat it like a real magical prop before you do each trick. If I had my scissors, I would cut off the ends. I don't know where they are, but we don't need it cut off right now. There's only one move that's really important that is secret to make this trick work. But before I show you the move, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually just perform the trick one time so you can see what happens. You're going to take the rope and you're going to put it around the spectator's neck, just like that. And you're going to tie it in a knot. And we're going to take the rope, we're going to go down through the sleeve just like this. And we're going to take this side down this sleeve, just like that. I hope you're not ticklish. You're going to take one rope, tie it in a knot, and then if all works out well, on the count of 3, we're going to yank as hard as we can. And using the script, or the dialogue from the script, it goes something like this. On 3, we're going to pull as hard as we can. 1, 2, 3 weeks ago when we did this, the guy's eyes actually popped out of his head. They just bulged right out. That's not going to happen here, I promise. All right, here we go, on 3. 1, 2, 3 days ago when we did this, we almost got it right. Not quite, but almost.
Okay.
You all right?
Yeah.
You doing okay? Here we go. You ready? Here we go. 1, 2, and 3! And just like that, the rope comes through. Now, at the end of the trick, Alex will be on one side, Macardi's on the other. Or Angel. What will happen is Macardi is going to pull on the rope. Hold on tight. Macardi's going to pull on the rope, and he's going to let it go, and Angel or Alex will grab the rest of the rope. This allows Macardi to come forward and take a bow. So as soon as the trick gets done, you're both holding the rope. Allow the rope to flick out of your hands and allow the other one to catch it, come forward and take your bow at that point. All right, let's explain how the trick works. Before I do that, let me tell you a couple things about audience management. Very important. If you pull a volunteer up on the stage, volunteers are the greatest thing you can have in a magic show or the worst thing you can have. Most of the audience will get their reaction from the volunteer. So if you pull somebody out who doesn't like it, who isn't having fun, who isn't amazed, the audience has a tendency to not be amazed or like it. They follow his reaction. So Make sure you choose wisely, first of all, somebody who's been laughing, enjoying the show, and having a good time, and when they come up, they're going to have a good time. Secondly, to make this trick work, you can't allow the audience member to look and turn and face toward you. That's going to show how the trick is done, but also it's just bad stage presence. Always keep them so their shoulders are facing the audience. They're always down stage. So as they start to turn, Macardi will just come over as he's talking to them and just readjust their body so that their body stays parallel with the audience. All right, the only trick, the only move you have to know to do this trick is this. You take the two ropes, and what you're going to do in your hands is you're going to take one rope and you're going to go under the other rope. So if I have these two ropes here, I come under and create a loop like that. So what I've done is just basically, I have a big loop and a little loop. I go like that to create a loop. The illusion right now, as I'm holding this, the illusion is that I have two ropes. What people don't know is that this rope is one rope and that this rope is one rope. If I were to pull this apart, you can see that that is now just one rope. What the audience believes is that this is one end of the rope and here's the other end, and here's one end of the rope and here's the other end.
Redo it so that we can see it.
And so, what you're going to do is basically, I put both ropes in my hand. I will just take the rope and just make a loop. I try to cover it up so that the audience won't see it, and I do this on an offbeat. While I'm talking to people or while something's going on, while we're bringing an audience member up, I'll just take the ropes and I'll just do that. And all I've done was just taken the two loops at the end of the rope, put one loop over the other, bring it into my hand. I make it as small as I can. The more rope I put here, the more it's going to scrape the back of his neck. And I don't want that. Okay? And so I want to keep it here. When I do that, this little bit of rope is what goes against the back of his neck, the skin. And when I put this on the back of his neck, what's going to happen is the pressure will keep that rope right there. Now, from the front, that looks like I've got two ropes going around his neck. That looks pretty convincing. From the back, we can tell that there's a loop back there that's holding it in.
If we put it lower down, then the collar will also help cover it.
Can help cover it. Exactly right. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to tie a knot. I'm just going to do a single loop like I'm beginning to tie my shoe. And I'm going to bring it in there. Let the audience see this. That's a pretty dramatic pose right there. That looks like there are two ropes going around his neck. And in reality, there's not. Diane, help me here. We're going to put each pairs of ropes through the sleeve and down. Now, Angel's responsibility at all times is to watch the back of the rope to make sure that it doesn't come apart. For example, like right now, it's starting to come apart. Mm-hmm. So all Angel has to do is to comfort him by putting her hand on the back of his neck, like he's freaking out or something. Just say it's going to be okay. What she's doing is she's holding those ropes on the back together. You're going to take one rope from each side. It doesn't matter which rope, but just one from each side. And you're going to do another tie in there. And now you have basically done the trick. Everything's done now. The rest of it is showmanship. There's one thing that is very, very, very important. We never, ever will pull the rope, ever, until we can see that it has now been disconnected. Make sure it's disconnected. Angel's responsibility is to always make sure that that rope eventually becomes disconnected, just like that, and it's just sitting there. And Macardi never pulls the rope until he sees it disconnected. It should work if it's in a loop. It should work. But if for any reason it gets snagged on anything, we have a problem, because you will choke the person.
Now, if you leave these loops a little bit longer, you can have them separated, but kind of,
Tucked into the back of the shirt.
yeah, just tucked into the back of the shirt. And then there's like absolutely nothing to worry about. If they're too short, you risk this one falling out
down.
ahead of time, which gives the trick away.
Once it's there, the rest is showmanship. Once you pull, we're going to pull slowly, but if you just watch, what's going to happen is everything just melts around his neck, through the shirt, and it all just comes out. It's an incredible trick that's been around for a long time. Don't pull until these are disconnected. Also, I don't know if I said this before, make sure there's no necklaces, earrings, or anything else dangling that you can get caught on. Long hair can also be a problem too. So you want to be careful about the volunteer you pick so that we can have a clean pull all the way through and not have somebody screaming on stage, which is a different trick entirely. Any comments? That is the rope guillotine trick. Is that simple?